Hi, new iPhone 17 lineup has released today and I want to talk about a couple of things. Mostly the iPhone 17 Air, which is a really thin phone. The word really is in quotes there. It is only 5.6mm thick, which is impressive. It is even thinner than the Samsung S25 Edge that I joked about. I said it was nonsense because they still had a huge camera bump anyway, but I still congratulated their engineering skills. They did make the most of the phone thinner. Apple did the same, they did most of the phone thinner, but we still have a camera bump and we have this wide line at the top of the phone. Well, that's a decision that you can definitely make. So after talking that much about the other thin phones, I had to do this video just to finish off my final thoughts about thinner phones. So Apple says iPhone 17 Air is 5.6mm thin, which is 0.2mm thinner than the S25 Edge, but reportedly at the camera bump of iPhone Air, it is 9.5mm thick. That is still smaller than the S25 Edge's camera bump. S25 Edge had a full 10mm thickness at its camera bump. So iPhone Air is overall winning at the being thinness race, but I think phones don't need to be that much thinner because it doesn't make sense. This is just a deceptive practice. We cannot hide the camera anyway. There's a technical limitation at camera's height. With the current technology of cameras and lenses and all of their internal moving parts, apparently we cannot make them thinner. So what's the point of having one part of the phone just bigger? If you are just trying to make it smaller, it is not working. If you are going to say purchase a case to level it up, what's the point then? An important thing to consider is that 11 years ago, iPhone 6 had only a millimeter difference with this current 17 Air. And that phone had no camera bump. Most smartphones from the earlier times, including other Android phones, had flush designs. And this was the case even up until the S10 series. They were the premium models too. Something happened and everything got bigger, and now getting back to those normal times is just something premium. Is this really special? Because even in this current year, the iPad Air is coming with a 6.1mm thickness. That is pretty close to these premium thin phones. For the most times, tablets were always thinner. Yes, they have more to the area to play with, so they can put components more efficiently in a bigger area, but overall something feels wrong with advertising a thin phone with some bumps left out. And it is not just the symmetrical thickness. Of course, we are compromising at battery life, and we are losing some thermal capabilities. iPhone 17 Pro is coming with a vapor chamber, so its CPU is going to work in lower temperatures, which is going to make it more efficient and more powerful, because they can just work longer before being a fire hazard. Anyway, you know what, I don't care about the CPU, what about the battery life? Because it's like 15 years we had all these smart devices, still setting just a 1-day battery life is just a little bit less than what I would expect for a 15 years of innovation. Like, it's good at first 2 years, but then we are starting to slow down our CPUs or batteries. Every phone that was more than 2 years out there is just suffering from not having enough battery life for a day. So what about we just start with 2 days of battery life and we don't have these battery issues? Well, companies wouldn't have wanted that. They would want you to change your battery and charge you for it. I don't think people just don't need it. People will charge it at home anyway is the answer here. Why wouldn't we want more from these brands? For the same price at Samsung S25 Edge, you can get the S25 Ultra, which has 1000 mAh more battery. Now it's the same with the iPhone 17 Air. For just $100 more, you can get the iPhone 17 Pro, which reportedly has 1100 mAh more battery. And you are losing so much other functionality too. Go ahead and check it out yourself. You obviously have less cameras. You are losing at least half of the Pro advertised features from similar prices. Well, they are coming with the same Pro chips, which is interesting. Maybe that's the reason behind the price. But does this show that they really tried to make the Pro phones just slimmer? And to do that, they had to lose some functionality because there is no room in there. Well, if you really need your phone to be that thin, of course go ahead and buy it, but I still personally think we don't need these thin phones with the same prices that are also not truly thin, because they have these other bumps all over the place. iPhone 17 Air is reportedly coming with a 3150 mAh battery, which is a kind of battery you would expect from the phones 8 years ago. Apple has a little efficiency leverage at their iOS system, but still this is just a compromise. We don't have to make it look like it's not a compromise. You are just going to get less battery if you want a thin phone, and it is still going to be expensive. They know it's a compromise too, because just after announcing the Air, they announced the battery pack for it. It's a MagSafe battery pack with magnets. You can just stick it at your phone. Apple says it can charge your phone up to 65%, so it's probably a 2000 mAh battery. So if you're going to purchase that battery pack, it is going to exceed the Pro phones in the market right now, but then your overall phone is going to be thicker. Then you cannot say it's a 5.6mm phone. I don't know. know, it's another decision you have to make. One hilarious thing Apple did is last year they really just forgot to upgrade their phone screens. The iPhone 16, the regular iPhone 16 came with a 60 Hz screen, which is, I really believe, is hard to find in 2024. Like really, most of the phones came with a 120 Hz refresh rate. Some of them are shooting for higher refresh rates. So they just went out of their way to make the lower spec screen, and this year they just gave up. All of their phones have 120 Hz screens now, which is, I'm sure some people are going to celebrate. I really don't think we should celebrate this kind of things. They were obviously going for a product leader there. You need to pay hundreds of dollars more to get just a single feature in your phone. It's really the worst thing with the Apple products. They just overcharge you with everything. Just look at these storage spaces in Macs. You can just purchase an SSD, but no, they are not allowing you to do that. They are not including that slot in their PCs, which is something every other PC has, multiple actually. And Apple just charges you with 10 times more prices in some cases for some extra storage. They are still doing the same with the iPhones. I really don't think that just costs them that much. This year they made the decision of making all of their phones came with a base 256 gigabytes of storage, which is a good thing, Apple. Thank you for that. But still, you are going to overcharge for every extra storage in your phones. Probably to try to sell you the Apple, what was that? Apple Cloud, iPhone Cloud, Apple iCloud. Anyway, I hate their product leaders and they are going to do it anyway. Let's get back to designs. This year they made a different iPhone design. So we have this rectangular bump at the 17 Pros too. It is still looking kind of weird to me. I'm still getting used to it. I don't know what you think about it, but I don't get that luxury feeling from this phone. It just looks kind of like other Chinese phones. To be honest, it is not that bad in the iPhone 17 Air. With the Pro models, it is kind of weird. It's probably because of the 3 cameras at the left. Maybe they should have arranged them in a different way. Maybe all of them being horizontal would be a better decision. But they cannot do that because they need this spatial awareness. What was that? Spatial video for the Apple Vision Pro. They need 2 of the cameras at the landscape orientation. But yeah, this kind of looks weird. I don't know. I'm not sure about this one. But I'm seeing another thing. Look at this bottom part. They made the conscious decision to make this look like a MagSafe place. When I see the back of this phone, I just want to purchase more MagSafe accessories. MagSafe. Apple always have made the design part of their language. We have the famous charging port at the bottom of their Magic Mouse, which was a brilliant decision, brilliant in quotes, because they didn't trust us with charging the mouse. They thought we would charge it all the time, which would be bad for the Magic Mouse's magic battery. So they made the choice to restrict us. You cannot use the mouse while charging it. So they always use this kind of design languages in their products. And in this Pro models, it is obviously that kind of decision. This is clearly to play some MagSafe items. It is calling out to you, just purchase some more MagSafe accessories here. It is looking really empty. You know what, they should also lock this with a software feature. If you don't have any MagSafe accessories right now, we are just going to lock you out of our systems. You can just laugh now, but this can be the future next year. Or maybe not, because it would be bad for their reputation. Unless it would bring them more money. I think I would be a really good advisor for the Apple. I think they should hire me from just $5 a month. I have a natural way of just finding the worst way possible to do something. Because honestly, that's a good place to start at thinking about something. Then you can avoid making mistakes. But in a business sense, you can always find more ways to charge people. Okay, let's end the video here. It is going too philosophical for me. What do you think about the new iPhone lineup? Do you like them? Especially the iPhone Air. What do you think about that one? Would you buy one because it's a thinner phone? And if you're curious about the S25 Edge video, go ahead and check that video out. If you liked the video, please subscribe and thank you for listening.